It is the late 1500s, the age of the sword, an age when the night is alive with whispers, and a woman's heart is a thing she must keep carefully hidden beneath layers of silk and silence. Outside your home in Kyoto, the sun has slipped beneath the mountains, leaving behind a thin ribbon of dying orange. Inside, the world is still. You kneel beside a single flickering candle. The tatami beneath your knees breathes the scent of straw and old memory. Your daughter sleeps in the next room, curled like a silkworm inside her tiny futon. Your husband is far away, gone to war, gone for months, gone long enough for the house to forget the sound of her sandals. And tonight, as the moon climbs higher, you feel something shifting. Inside the walls, inside your chest, inside your dreams. Before we begin, tell me, where are you watching from? Kyoto, Mumbai, or London? Let me know in the comments. This night will reach all of us. Now close your eyes. The dream is beginning. Chapter 1. The Empty House. The first sound you hear is the wind slipping through bamboo leaves. It brushes your cheek like a breath, cool and sudden. You turn, expecting to see a door open, a servant awake, your daughter calling softly. But nothing moves, only the candle flickers. You walk slowly through the house, one hand against the wall. Even in darkness, you know every corner, every creak, every place where the boards bend under your weight. This house has been your world since the day you arrived as a bride. Your eyes lowered, your hair pinned, your heart trembling like a sparrow. Now it feels unfamiliar, like something has entered it, or something has awakened. You pause. A sound rises from the tatami beneath you. A faint tapping, like fingertips from another world. You lower your ear to the floor. Tap, tap, tap. The sound is small, too small to be footsteps, too deliberate to be insects. And as you listen, the tapping becomes a whisper, a breath, a voice that does not belong to the living. You rise slowly. You whisper, "Not tonight, please." But the house doesn't listen. Chapter 2. The Husband Who Exists Only in Dreams. You return to your room, sit beside the candle, and stare at the two swords resting on the lacquered stand. A samurai never leaves his swords unless he intends to return. That is what they told you. That is what you tell yourself each morning as you fold blankets and sweep the veranda. But tonight, the swords feel different, heavier, more alive. You place your hand near the sheath, not touching, only reaching. The air around the blade seems to pulse gently, the way a sleeping animal breathes. And then you see him, not in the room, in your mind. The dream rises with no warning. Your husband standing on the veranda, armor glistening, face soft in the lantern light. He turns toward you, his lips move. You cannot hear him. You reach for him, but the floor stretches beneath your feet. The hallway widens. The shadows lengthen like ink spilling across paper. And as he steps toward you, his face changes. The eyes hollow, the smile wrong, the body flickering like a broken lantern. You wake with your heart pounding. Your husband exists only in letters and memory. The man in your dream is something else. Chapter 3: The Burden of Silk and Duty. You stand before the mirror. The polished bronze shows your reflection, dim and warped. Your hair has loosened from its pins, spilling across your shoulders like ink. Your robe hangs slightly open, not indecent, but not proper either. A samurai's wife must be composed, even in grief, even in longing, even alone. You straighten your collar, you tighten your obi. You try to look like the woman you're supposed to be. But the woman in the mirror is someone else, older, tired, alive in ways she shouldn't admit. The rituals of daily life, pouring tea, lighting incense, sweeping the garden, were meant to keep the mind from wandering. But tonight, your mind slips through your control like water through open fingers. In your dreams, you are not obedient. You do not kneel. You do not wait. In your dreams, you run. In your dreams, you laugh. In your dreams, you touch a hand that is not your husband's. You shut your eyes tightly. Desire and duty cannot share a heart. They pull in opposite directions, and tonight they are tearing through you like twin tides. Chapter 4: The Dream of Another Life. Sleep takes you again, but this time it is gentle. You open your eyes and stand barefoot in a bright field. The sky is impossibly blue. Your robe is simple, dye-stained, tied with a rough cord. The wind lifts your hair freely. No pins, no rules. You look down. Your hands are stained with indigo. You've been working, living, laughing. In this dream, you're not a wife, not a woman waiting, not a shadow in a house built for a man who isn't here. You are simply yourself. Someone calls your name, your real name, the one your mother whispered when you were small, the one your husband never used except in formality. You turn. A man stands behind you, not a samurai, not a warrior, a potter perhaps. his hands rough, his expression warm. He looks at you with no expectation, no ownership, only wonder. You laugh. The sound surprises you. You haven't heard it in so long. But then, in the dream, a bell begins to ring. Slow, somber, pulling you away. You try to stay. You reach for him. But the field dissolves. The colors running like wet paint. The ground fades. The sky breaks. You gasp, awake. Your pillow is wet with tears. Not for your husband, not for the war, but for the life you saw in the dream. The one you'll never have. Chapter 5. The garden that remembers you. You rise before dawn and walk into the garden barefoot. The world is cold and soft, like the breath before a whisper. The koi sleep below the still surface of the pond. The plum tree is heavy with late blossoms, petals already beginning to fall. This garden was once your sanctuary. Now it grows without you, shifting in ways you didn't approve, changing in ways you didn't choose. You walk along the stepping stones with your robe trailing behind. Your fingers brush the moss, the leaves, the memory of what your hands used to tend. Then you kneel. In the corner beside the first stone lantern your husband bought lies a small marker, the one you placed when your first child died. A tiny stone, smooth, nameless. You press your palm to it, letting the cold sink into your skin. Your breath reeks, but your eyes remain dry. You have shed every tear your body had to give. Now, only silence remains. A butterfly lands on your wrist, black wings etched in red. You whisper, "Will I ever be free?" It flutters and disappears into the dawn. Chapter 6. The Sword That Watches. Back inside, the light grows pale. You stand before the daisho, the twin swords, your husband's pride, his identity, his soul. You kneel, not because you must, but because you need answers. You reach toward the smaller blade, the one meant for a samurai's last dignity. And for a samurai's wife, the blade reserved for honor or escape. Your fingers hover over the hilt. It feels warm, alive. You lift it. The blade is lighter than expected, yet heavier than your entire life. Your breath catches, not in fear, but in recognition. You're holding centuries of expectation, the pressure of every woman who came before you, kneeling in rooms like this one, touching steel they were never meant to wield. Your hand trembles, not because you're weak, but because you understand the truth. You're not powerless. You never were. You were simply taught to forget. You place the blade back gently. Bow your head. Rise. You leave the room with your spine straight. The sword remains behind, but its spirit follows you. And for the first time, you walk like someone who has remembered her strength. Chapter 7. Midnight Rides. Night falls again. This one feels different. Full, heavy, ripe, with something waiting to be born. You gather the old things. A wooden comb passed down from your grandmother. A stripe of red cloth from your daughter's birth. A small bowl of rice, hardened with age. You kneel before the altar. You light incense, dark, protective, earthy. You whisper words you barely remember, words from women long gone. The smoke curls strangely, downward, toward you. The shadows gather in corners, and then they appear. Not ghosts, not exactly. The mothers before you, the daughters who never grew, the wives who waited until their bones broke, until their hearts cracked open like winter ice. Not angry, not vengeful, simply present. You bow deeply. I see you, you whisper. I remember you. I carry you. The bowl cracks. The candle flares blue, and the presence lifts. You are alone again, but no longer lonely. Chapter 8. The Awakening. Dawn breaks slowly. The world softens to pale gold. Your daughter wakes, stretching with a sleepy squeak. Her hair is wild, her cheeks warm. She looks at you, really looks. Maybe she senses that something in you has changed. You take her hand and lead her outside. The air is crisp. The plum tree has dropped a single new blossom at your feet. You pick it up. It is imperfect, a little torn, a little late, but it is here, alive, defiant, like you. You sit beside your daughter on the veranda. She leans against your arm. You breathe in the morning air, tasting the smoke of last night's incense still clinging faintly to your sleeve. You do not know if your husband will return. You do not know what the war has taken or what it will give back. But this moment, this breath, this life, it belongs to you. You're no longer a shadow waiting in silence. You are a woman who has walked through her dreams and survived them. You are a woman who has met the spirits of the past and risen anyway. You are a woman who knows the weight of a sword and the weight of her own heart. The morning bell rings. You bow once, not to a blade, not to a husband, not to a god, but to yourself.